Hey, so this is week 2. I was already talking and I just started this. So this is week 2 of the Sink or Swim update. We'll talk about the numbers, what's been done this week, and what I'm doing next, as well as what worked and what hasn't worked. And yeah, so let's start screen sharing here. Okay, if you could see this, let me move around. Make sure that works. Close out some apps here. Okay. So this is last week. Oh, let me change this number. This was last week's numbers. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out online. It's recorded and available. This is week 2. So we'll go through the numbers. We'll also look at what's happening next, what's been done this week, and other cool stuff. So our revenue, still $0. This is week 2, $0 a week 2. It's kind of, yeah, we need to see that start going up. So Patreon, let's look at those numbers. $565 a month pledged, up from I think $500 last week, so that's good. That's going up. We grew 3 more patrons in the last week. All of that comes from my social network, right? We'll talk more about that and how I'll be leveraging that later. So Sink or Swim universe, 467 visitors this week, down 500 visitors, which is probably just from me working instead of going out there and marketing and figuring this out, because if I don't work, that's kind of, I'm not producing anything. If I'm not producing anything, I have nothing to go out and sell. So our daily traffic is between 85 to 12 visitors a day, 12 being on Sundays. It seems like just people are out doing their own thing. Might be demographic or location, but that's the reality of it right now. Our newsletter, we got 2 more signups from last week, probably due to the decrease in visitors. I'm sure there's something, if we do some in-page analytics there, that we can do to move more people towards that in our funnel. So I installed an RSS feed at the request of one user because they keep up with all of their news through RSS. So that went up this week. Shout out to that user. Network Pi. So I launched Network Pi this week. Network Pi is basically my social CRM. I call it a network relationship manager. It's basically taking the idea that your network is your net worth. And so by importing all of my contacts, being able to create campaigns and goals within those campaigns, I'm able to go through and convert and create actionable items from my objectives and track the status of those goals across my network, right? So I'll add like all the pledges that have pledged, and I'll ask for feedback, and I'll go through, and I'm also dog fooding this app, and dog fooding means that I'm using it myself so I can see basically what works and what doesn't. So I use this for a feedback campaign from all our patrons that got early beta access to this. Went through, I was able to convert on all of our patrons with this, so it helps me keep track of basically my quote unquote sales, right? Everything's kind of some conversation or conversion. it's great. I've been pushing this on Reddit in like the startups or entrepreneur subreddits. Still looking to convert there. I think the copy is pretty weak. So I'm in the feedback, I'm asking people, what do they think the app does, kind of getting their input so that I can use that to shape the copy or shape the app, right? So next up is Channel Pie. Channel Pie is a social media automated marketing kind of platform. Basically, it allows you to schedule your tweets, Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, whatever. Hopefully we'll provide analytics eventually, but that's something that I built because I wanted to own it. I didn't want to use any other kind of competitors' apps out there, and it was something that was already half built internally from before. So going to fix that, push it out there as part of this suite, and start getting feedback from it using Network Pi. New project. I have a new project coming up that is, I guess, part of what I've figured out about my network, and I want to, I guess, give makers the ability to create and find the resources they need. So being able to tap in their social capital through crowdfunding or whatever is super important to me. And as a maker, as an entrepreneur, I find that my social network is probably the first people to reach out and want to support what I'm doing. So I'm building a platform for those people to, gather those resources. That should be launched probably by the end of this weekend. I spent so I've already started working on it, and I've been spending a lot of time going back to Network Pi, working out bug fixes, using it and discovering that wasn't usable out of the gate, even though I thought that it had all the features. That's part of, discovery and iteration. So moving back to this new project, and should be done MVP, and I'll do the same thing I did with Network Pi, dog food it, get user feedback through my pledges, and then launch it at large and get those numbers. I have 2 more app ideas after that, and then we move on to 100 days of invention unless something else works or resonates with the audience. So social this week, 15 Facebook followers, up 3. All of these are up 3, odd, totally odd, because it's not all the same users, right? So social, Facebook up 3, Twitter up 3, YouTube up 3, Patreon up 3. And those users on Patreon are all from my social circles, or just me updating content on my social channels, and people seeing it, liking it, and converting into patrons. So shout out to those people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for believing me. This is going to be amazing. Let's get through this together. So Reddit. We'll talk about the Reddit experience. I've been posting to Reddit. I thought that by building tools and trying to explain kind of the narrative of what I'm building, going from why, how to what, there would be more people that cared. And they're really, Reddit, I felt like the reception has been kind of lackluster, which is fine. Maybe I need to get into that, a better storytelling mode. But the people that have commented have mostly been negative out of the gate, which is interesting, considering that when I follow up and ask them, like, well, how did they become successful? They often have not, right? So what I've noticed is a pattern of successful versus unsuccessful people is unsuccessful people are typically negative and tell other people that they can't do this or shouldn't do that. And successful people have a kind of a growth mindset, like, okay, this is what you've decided. this is what's happening, and how can we make this work even better, right? So I've learned successful people want to help and want to embrace what you're doing and want to make it better and make you better. And unsuccessful people typically don't. Reaching out on Reddit has been successful. If you reach out and target a particular person, it works really well. If you reach out to the community at large and say, can you help me with this? For some reason, people oftentimes don't take initiative, which is fair. Sometimes maybe they don't know how they can help, right? So next is our video posts. And let me say one thing about Reddit is Reddit is truly an amazing platform. I reached out, there was somebody doing an AMA on the entrepreneur subreddit. He owns the #2 fastest growing company in Fortune magazine. And I basically told him what I was doing, and he was super supportive, messaged me, basically went further than I've seen anyone go in terms of just taking interest and asking how to make it better. So I think those one-on-one interactions really make all the difference on Reddit. So targeting people, targeting individuals on Reddit is amazing and works, and Reddit is a great equalizer. So you can get access to really amazing people that way. Okay, moving on, videos. Dan Gets Called a Megalomaniac. That was the one where I met with a potential investor, and they weren't, typically in software or startups. So I got 144 views. So it seems like the crazier topics get a lot of hits. Dan Hits Trough of Sorrow, 49 views. Now I need to go back and see what time I posted these to see, if there's a relationship between time of day posted, topic, and channel posted. Now I have my YouTube videos hooked up through Google Analytics, and I need to figure out how deep does that go? Like, can I see the funnel all the way through and all of the referrals? So I could see, well, did Facebook convert, Twitter convert, whatever. And then see what works and post during those times and days and channels. Other products, the ebook. The ebook has been on hold for the last week so that I can build, because without building, none of this makes sense. So if I can get finished with the other app this weekend, that ebook will get pushed into next week probably. The shirt sold 0 this week, which is fine. I've got some feedback from the shirt that it's kind of corny that I'm selling a shirt, and I put it up there just to test something out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I may just purchase the last 5 shirts and give them to people as like an offering of like, thanks for meeting with me, or anyone that's really shown support that will wear a shirt. So next is how-tos. I made my first how-to on how do I start building a product. These how-tos will cover product lifecycle as I experience them. So I started the first one with like, okay, where do I get my vision? How do I lay my vision out? How do I think about being the user? Basically going from inspiration to actionable plan right before you start building. Next, and I'll launch that video out probably next week and post it to subreddits and all my other channels. Next is Tribes. Tribes was a weekly entrepreneur meetup that other people like myself, that I started, that other people like myself would attend, and we'd help each other. When I went back to work, that kind of slowed down, right? And stopped altogether, actually, because a lot of other people ran out of capital and went back to work. But now I'm getting pings from people that inbound requests that are asking for tribes back. So I'm taking the old tribes website that existed at tribes.techendo.com, making that a full-fledged social site for entrepreneurs to meet up at, and pushing that out this week, hopefully, maybe next week. But starting tribes back up every Sunday at probably 1 p.m. at 4 Barrel Coffee in the Mission at 15th and Valencia. So if you're out there, you want to come to tribes or start your own tribes, hit me up and come out and meet other entrepreneurs. Blog posts. Typically, my blog posts have been flat this week because, or rather, what they are is pointers to other content. So if I create a video or something, I'll post it to Medium just to get more traffic to my videos. 100 Days of Invention. So now's the time where I talk about the 100 Days of Invention. And I'll go through the next 7 ideas that I've had. I'd really like to figure out a way that we can vote on these or something. Okay, so last week I had 7. This week we're gonna do the next 7. Open tag, so tag anything online or offline. You know, any user can tag anything. You can tag things in your apartment, tag things online. The first thing that I was thinking about was tagging library image photos, but it goes well beyond that. Second one was gold star. I would love to give gold stars to my friends, like for helping me do cool stuff like this, or helping me move, or helping me, you know, give me a ride somewhere, or just being awesome. So I think that's kind of a nice thing. Like, I want to build my reputation as being valuable as a friend. So next is Uncharted. I would eventually like to take a vacation one day, or visit someplace cool, even in my area. So Uncharted would be an app that tells me all the cool stuff that the locals really find valuable or interesting, or something that I should try out that's kind of out of the way, because going to the typical touristy places is pretty boring sometimes. Next, a site where people can pay for monthly ownership. Well, we'll talk about that one later. Phone notifications. I can set notifications on anything I love and habits, or anything I have and have it sent to my phone. So I think notifications on the phone are kind of dry. They come from my apps. They come from, you know, boring things. But I would love if I was able to get a notification from anything in the world, right? Like, notify me when the next BART comes in 15 minutes, or notify me when, maybe it's called notify me. Notify me when 15 minutes is up, right? Notify me when there's a sale happening in my neighborhood. You know, cool stuff like that. Feedback. So a place to manage your app support. Feedback, I think, is huge on building new product. When I build new products, I try to make feedback buttons really large, because it captures your power users, the people that are gonna want to use your app, and those are the people that you really should embrace and give a voice to within the narrative of building. So that might be a cool utility for startups and other product builders to use. App, let me see. Okay, this one's just called an app for living. So you treat yourself like a sim, and you can find correlations to improve good habits over bad ones. So I go through my day, track what I do, grab my moods, and in the background we're running and trying to figure out what makes you a better person. And I think that would be cool. I would love to, you know, lose more weight, or become smarter, or become better at something, right? Okay, so that's an interesting one. Next one is auto-negotiation protocol in exchange for an efficient Internet of Things universe. So imagine in a world where, oh wait, maybe I, okay. So just like a thing, maybe I have this down twice. We'll move on to the next one. Music app where you can control the instruments with your mouth. So a music app where I can hum or whistle or make a beat, and it'll take those frequency transforms and turn them into real live instruments. So I can compose things with my phone without having to do much else, right? Okay, and that's this week's. So let me mark these down. Okay, so that's it. And thanks for stopping by. Cheers.